here live, UK Games Expo 2025, and with me, as always. I'd say always, you haven't, UK Games Expo, you're always here, but you haven't been on the podcast recently. It's just been me and John Joe.
Life has been busy, has been very busy for me.
Peter Ellison, ladies and gents.
How you doing, everyone? Good to be back.
Right, so behind us, if you're watching this, it's deceiving. It looks quiet. It looks too quiet. The reason
Looks are deceiving.
It's very deceiving
because this is the ticket hall.
This is the ticket hall. Pete was like, "It's going to be quiet." We tried everywhere around UK Games, and generally we find this little sort of quiet back in the background where the food is, and there's somewhere. It's hammered today, and there was nowhere to go. So we've taken ourselves into the ticket hall where there's not very many people around. It's relatively
quieter. It's calmer.
Yeah.
We're not getting people walking in front of the camera as much.
As much, yes.
But yeah, it has been. I mean, this has been. I say this every year. It has been the biggest one yet.
Yeah, but it's. I feel overwhelmed today. Yeah. I feel really overwhelmed.
There's a lot to take in.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's like when we come, and we've been coming to this every,
years.
a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
We've been coming a long time, and it's always been a case where we come in, we take a reconnoiter, we go around, we have a look, and then we sort of focus down certain things we want to sort of talk to or we want to look at. I could only come for a day, so I was like, it's fine, I'll come at 11 o'clock when I usually do, we'll have loads of time and stuff. Now, granted, you had your.
I was doing Dummy and Dragons at 12.
Yeah, 12. But we generally you've got enough time, because generally we have enough time, look around, do some things, and then do the podcast and stuff. But I felt today that we didn't even scratch the surface of it.
I think what it is just the sheer scale of the UK Games Expo has grown. Where before we had 2 halls of exhibitors, now it's 3.
Yeah.
And that is just much more ground to cover.
Yes. And again, it just shows you how successful it is.
Absolutely.
It shows you how successful it is. It's just like, for me, it's just my sort of ADHD brain. It's just like, oh my God, I don't know how to deal with all of this.
I think, to be honest, regardless of whether you have an ADHD brain or not, what we do have is just a lot to take in. It is literally an onslaught of the senses. My daughter was here yesterday with me, and we got back, and she just went and sat down in a room for half an hour and just played a cozy game on her phone just to decompress, because it was just overwhelming.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah. And I feel like we're sort of, it's not a negative, because you want it to be successful. Yeah. This is my favourite convention in the UK. We were talking to the guys at Rebellion earlier. Benji at Rebellion earlier. And he was saying it's a very British sort of convention and stuff like that. It has its own theme. It doesn't, like I've been to San Diego Comic-Con, I've been to American conventions and stuff. And yeah, it has a different feel. There's definitely that sort of British.
I think what it is, typically the British Comic-Cons are typically smaller and more personable, but UK Games Expo is growing to the point where it's as big as Gen Con, as Essen. So it's kind of losing almost that kind of smaller community aspect.
Yeah, I think it still has it.
I'm not saying it's lost it, but I think it's more like it's grown into something different.
Yeah. It's becoming very successful. Let's get to that point where it's like, where do they go from that? And the thing is, does it get to a point where some of the bigger companies start coming in and start sort of bombasting the whole area with things like this? The UK Games Expo has always been about the smaller guys, smaller lots. You go around here, the amount, even today, going around, the amount of games you could never play. I think if you played one every day for the rest of your life, you probably wouldn't be able to hit them all. There's so many different games.
And one thing I would like to see is almost have villages. We kind of have the war game village, all the war games together, all the role-play games together, all the card games together, all the board games.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you because I find it weird because and it was very stark because we were wandering around and you had all these RPGs, and then suddenly there was this cake stall, and then this sort of random sort of thing there and stuff. So it was like there was no consistency beside it. Now there are some like when we saw the guys at
Nightfall Games.
But yes,
That's
Jared.
now part of it's a wider company. But yes, they have become widened and broadened, taken on Pathfinder and so.
Oh, so they've taken on Pathfinder and stuff because they were.
Yeah.
So I saw like they had that whole area which was sort of RPGs and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, right, that sort of seems like it sort of got this little sort of.
It was one big company of
right.
which Nightfall is part of.
Right, Nightfall, yeah.
So Nightfall, they have become the UK distributor for Pathfinder, for Cyberpunk.
Ah, right.
So.
Okay, I get you. Okay. So, but yeah, I get it. I think, yeah, you're right. Maybe there should be certain areas, but I understand kind of why they don't do it. Like, because if you're wandering around and they're all over the place, then you have a better chance of seeing, like...
It encourages you to browse.
Yeah, it encourages you to browse more, whereas if you are, like for me, I probably wouldn't see certain smaller games or certain things because I'm literally just going to go to the war game section or where the miniatures are and things like that, and I'm just going to spend most of my time there. I'm not going to look around the other things, so I get why they do it.
I would like to see sort of a community of makers where you kind of got all like the 3D printers. Like stuff I like. Let's go to the creative section where they're kind of building stuff for games.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a maker village, something like that, to kind of help curate the experience. Now they have got the map on the UK Games Expo app. And that kind of shows you, right, okay, this company is here. But still, it doesn't say, well, I want to see where all these companies are. So you kind of like sort by what they do.
All right, okay.
So yeah, it's kind of like how can we curate the business experience?
Yeah.
So that they're not as overwhelmed as just by being bombarded by.
Yeah, and there's so much. There's so much. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain unless you've been here. And like it's to the point where I was trying to take photographs, but there was too much. Like I wanted the specific things where there was so much, and I was like, I don't want to overwhelm people with like all these photographs. But there's lots of cool stuff I want to take photographs. So I was going to do a quick little video and things, but I was like, I don't even know where to start to do this because there's so much going on. And this isn't bad things. You know, it's good in that it's good more people walk in front of the camera. It's good that there would be like it's bigger and there's more going on and stuff like that, but it's just like psh. The only good thing, not the only good thing, one of the good things they've done this year, which I've noticed, is there's not as many bottlenecks.
The streets are wider.
Wider.
I mean, there are the occasional choke points.
Yeah.
But it's much easier. You don't feel as claustrophobic.
Yeah. Last year, especially when you go to those stairs and stuff like that.
Oh,
and and it's just literally you've got this single thing, and I've got a backpack, and I've got a tripod, and I've got a camera, and I'm like, ugh, like this, and you've got people just bashing into you, and I'm like, I'm going to kill people right now.
You said, no, I just can't come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like you lost your trespass.
Yeah.
I just thought, I can't bother.
It's
just I do not have the will, the brain power to kind of deal with this.
Exactly, and today it's not I can't come tomorrow, but more for family things. But I would. It's not like I'm completely burnt out. I'm annoyed the fact that I can't come not because I don't want to spend time with my family, but because I don't feel like I've had enough time to appreciate, absorb everything. Yeah. Like we've been all through the halls, but we've definitely missed a load of stuff.
We missed Games that we want to chat with.
Yeah, there's loads of people who've had on the podcast, and we've not sort of been able to talk to them and stuff.
And that's a shame. I mean, one of the big things for UK Games Expo is the community aspect. Like, people know people, you get to know people, you say hello to. So quite often, you only meet them here.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, this is the only time we actually meet in person, really.
Yeah. Sad. Bar my wedding. You were at my wedding.
Very true.
You were at my wedding. Yeah.
And I'm going to have my 50th birthday party later in the year, so you're invited to that.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, you got it there, so.
You don't look a day over 45, Pete.
Oh, fuck.
You definitely don't look 50, man.
It's the years, not the mileage.
But yeah, like it's growing every year, getting bigger. Definitely one of the biggest conventions I've seen in the country and stuff.
I think probably rivals MCM.
Yeah. I would say that's like size-wise, it's definitely on that level and stuff. Yeah. Do you know what it is? There seems to be a thing about when there's like every time I've done camera stuff, it's like I don't know. They see people here. And they see something, they automatically want to go through it. And I don't know if it's like a...
I think you want to kind of take the shortest route. So basically, the shortest route is kind of following the corner around.
Yeah, instead of going around people. But I've always done the same. Like we're doing EGX, and I remember sort of like there was microphones with leads, and people just walking through the camera.
One thing I want to quickly cover, and we go back to UKGE, though, is EGX is coming back.
Oh yes, Birmingham.
In November to Birmingham, and I'm excited for it.
But the thing is it a full EGX or is it just tacked on to MCM?
I'm going to answer yes to that on the grounds that we don't know.
Oh, okay.
We just look at the timings of MCM.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It would be good because, like, obviously we used to go to EGX, but then it moved down to London, and that's a bit more of a jaunt going down to London.
I've not been to any London ones.
No, I've not been to London ones either. But yes, back to EGX. So you were talking earlier when we were out having a rest outside because it's stupidly warm in here. That there's a lot of
tie-ins.
Tie-ins, yeah.
Now, two things I've noticed. One is 5e games are back in a big way. After that, about 2 years ago, when there was that kind of controversy regarding the 5e licensing and the crawling back the property of 5e as a tool for third-party developers, that has seemed to kind of calm down a bit. So developers are now kind of being more emboldened to go back to 5e. The other thing is that there are a lot of tie-in games. And there's comparatively little compared to the tie-ins, original games based on a unique setting.
Yeah, you got like I saw there's Tomb Raider, Dying Light, Sniper Elite. Yeah. There's more.
EVE Online.
EVE Online.
Not online.
Oh yeah, which I have backed. EVE I have backed. Stupid. I think it was the last Kickstarter back.
Halo.
Oh yeah, Halo. Yeah, like the Halo from that
thing. Tie-ins.
Which is a really good game, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got it. Yeah. And me and my brother played it, and it feels very. It feels like playing the computer game, and it's like, and it's not a feel bad game in that when your guys die, you're like, oh, I'm annoyed because they respawn. They always respawn,
nice.
So you always feel like you're like the game. You're respawning, you're bringing guys in, you can still do stuff.
Like your part.
Yeah, you're always sort of kind of part of it. So it's a really good game. The miniatures are quite cool as well. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel like a lot of time. I mean, time's great. I mean, I love games. I like Tomb Raider. I like Sniper Elite. But I do like the original stories, like the original settings. And I mean, that's why I kind of go back to Slay Industries, because that's a unique role-playing game.
Yeah.
I go back to Vassan. Because he has that originality. And not trying to tell a story in a different form, it is telling a story in the form it is designed for.
Well, because we were talking to Benji at Rebellion and talking about...
Controls?
What's something Trolls?
Tunnels and Trolls.
Yeah. No, it's not Dungeons and Trolls. It's
Tunnels and Trolls.
Tunnels and Trolls. Yeah, because it's Tunnels and Trolls. And this is I didn't know this. I didn't realize. Bear in mind, I played D&D.
You didn't think that the name sort of...
No, I understood that. Right. I understood that, but I thought it was just a new IP. I didn't realize it was as old as it was.
This is like the second role-playing game.
Yeah. I didn't realize because he was talking about it, and just sort of like I was like, well, I never knew that, and it's just like so basically.
It came out. It came back through a discussion about D&D, and for want of a better term, its limitations and how they could compensate for it and develop a new game that is D&D but not D&D. It is its own system, but they've kind of taken what made D&D fine and then introduced some new system to make it its own flavour.
Yeah. And I just found it really interesting. Like Benji was very sort of enthusiastic about it and stuff like, and he was telling us about the history. And I was like, that blew my mind because I've been playing D&D since, D&D and stuff like that. I was old enough for the first edition. I was the red box was red box was my first edition when I was butcher nipper in the 80s. But yeah, he was talking. Obviously, he said we're like 50 years old. They're curating all the old, like he says, they've bought the game from the original, sort of owners and stuff,
and brought in all the community-generated content, and they've archived it. They're not kind of like they're keeping it, gatekeeping it. They've literally just kind of archived it, put it on Drive-Thru RPG. I said, no matter what we do with the game going forward, it will always be available on Drive-Thru RPG. And for those people that want the original game, with its own flavour that it was of its time, it will be there and will still be there. But what they've done is kind of updated it for modern sensibilities, modern streamlining, kind of just kept the story there, but kind of streamlined mechanics, made it easy to play, kept that texture that makes it delicious.
They said they had some guys, Tunnels and Trolls, sort of like a fan group who've been doing it for like 20 years, and they went to sort of play it because they heard it was happening, and then they came back. They did it twice, and they said it feels like the same game, but the rules are different and stuff. Like it has the same sort of feel to it, but it's different and stuff. Excuse me, this camera. It's always the case. I know what it is with people. That's the third person.
Yeah. So yeah, it has kind of got the texture to it, and that kind of.
Oh, we're gonna get a fourth. Are we gonna get a fourth?
No, okay.
Are we gonna get a fourth?
Recording. Anyway, but it's kind of got the update to the setting as well, where they kind of brought in this almost post-apocalyptic element to it.
I'm just mad. There's barely anybody here, but yet we've probably had more people trying to walk in front of the camera. it's like people are just obsessed. Like we must go through this gap. There's people here, and we'll go through the gap.
So like kind of, I like what they've done with the setting. They kind of really developed the setting, so it's got its own flavour that makes it really. It's sort of, after this apocalyptic scenario where the trolls were kind of rising. Because of the eclipse.
So basically, there was an eclipse. There was an eclipse, which basically meant the trolls could come out. They destroyed the world.
Devastated the world.
Then it went away. They turned to stone. And then it's basically
everyone's society's rebuilding, and all the adventures are kind of being identified by kind of these little bits of troll that they kind of got attached to the belts and the costume. And I like the kind of this is they made a clear point of this is our setting.
Yeah.
Where before D&D is very generic. Your hero.
Yeah.
And also kept it very low fantasy, low magic. Again, it's almost a reaction to D&D's high fantasy.
Yeah. That seems interesting. Like it sounds interesting. Like I'll be because they're just sort of like building it up and stuff at the minute, sort of working on it. He was saying after Gen Con that maybe they'd have something a bit more solid for that.
They're literally just kind of. And also, what I find impressive is that they're reaching out to the community, handing out the quick start guide to tell us what you think, what works, what doesn't work. Getting that feedback, that's feeding into their own development. And then I think by end of August, early September, they're going to do the proper launch with the full, not launch, the Kickstarter.
Yep.
And then with the plan being to hit retail early 2026.
Yeah. That's exciting times. I just feel bad. Like we had a really good conversation with him, and we talked to Jared at Nightfall, and Mark was running away from you, and so we were trying to nab him, and he sort of, oh no, Pete's coming to get me. Let's go somewhere else, and we talked. But there's loads of people I would have loved to talk to. We did talk to Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green, good to see.
Yeah, it was good to see him again. And we talked.
Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw Adrian Tchaikovsky just walking. I thought he'd be taller. Adrian, I thought he'd be taller.
It's his beard. He's a very imposing chap.
Yeah. There's loads of people I think I would love to have sort of had a chat to and stuff, but more people come in front of the camera.
So there's a lot going on.
Seven.
We
We thought this was the ideal place to sort of do it.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. There's quiet. There's no people around, but I feel like more people have tried to get through this small gap. Like you see behind us, there's this huge.
You need to put like spikes, pit spikes.
But what I don't understand is there's this massive hall behind us, but people want to come through this small gap.
The drawn to our charisma.
Yeah, must be. It's just mind blown. It's like everybody's like, let's go through the gap.
Anyway, so what's been your highlight of this year?
Do you know what? I don't know if I can give you one because I don't feel like I've experienced it to the fullest, which is annoying me slightly because I haven't been able to see everything. There's been some really, I saw some beautiful models, some miniatures and stuff, which, I took some photos of and stuff. And there was loads of, what I like is some of the really cool booths and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was just one that had this sort of old school sort of pergola with all this like medieval stuff inside candles and things and
nice.
stuff. And it was just like, it's cool. That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
And I like the way when they set decorate some of their booths and things like that.
I must admit, I've not seen one booth that was just a dude with a tablecloth.
Yeah.
Really, everyone. I mean, you can't afford to have a bare minimum booth. You have to kind of just do something with it and really sell yourself, because people just bounce off it.
Yeah, and I like, I love the fact that, as much as there is just games everywhere and stuff, but you've got these huge areas for like tournaments and for families to play games, and even for just like people who want to play test new games and stuff. Like that play test area that's a really good idea, and it just seems a lot more accessible to everyone. Even like just the people, the diversity of everybody around.
Absolutely, I really do think. One thing my daughter noticed was that there's much greater diversity than there was five or so years ago, before COVID.
Yeah.
A lot more. It's not just a bunch of nerdy guys with beards.
Yeah.
Slightly stereotype, it is true, but we are seeing a lot more representation, genders, cultures, what have you.
There's a bit of everything.
Just like, excuse me.
There's a camera. You can go around this way, yes.
Which is great. I mean, we are seeing a lot more kind of representation, and that's great, because gaming is for everyone. We are Geek Pride. I mean, everyone can be geek, however you identify yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just we're geeks. We're here to play games.
Yeah. Seriously, man, it's boggling my brain why people keep on to one.
I said my three highlights with this UK Games Expo.
Yeah.
Tunnels and Trolls.
Yeah.
I was absolutely sold on that, just from the sound of it.
Just more so than just the way he was sort of talking
passionate,
about
but also
it.
I liked what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's got a solid backstory, a really neat system being developed, and the kind of learning from the community. Those are the three things, the selling point for me. The other one was Battle of Hoth by Asmodee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reskin of
Memoir 44.
But it's Battle of Hoth and it's Star Wars.
It's got little minis.
With minis, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks a very kind of simple put down and play system.
Yeah. It's not overly complicated. Memoir 44 wasn't overly complicated, so it should be interesting. It's definitely one I'll have a look at and stuff. Star Wars, what are you gonna do? But yeah. I'm gutted that I'm not going to. I'm probably not going to get an extra day to sort of kind of do what I need to do. But we'll see. We've got another guy. Oh, he saw he came through. He got it. There we go. Thought we were going to have another guy coming through, but he saw. But yeah, so I just feel bad. Like, last time, because it was so packed and I was just feeling a bit sort of thing, I wasn't too bothered about it as much as I enjoyed myself.
It was claustrophobic.
It was a bit too claustrophobic. They've sorted that completely. You've got bigger lanes, everything seems to be a bit more spread out.
It's more space to breathe.
Yeah. It definitely sort of, that's amazing. Even if there's definitely more people and stuff like that, but it's so big that in one day,
you can't. It's impossible.
Can't get everything. You can't. And this is what gets me. So you've got people who come and then they're sitting there playing games, but then it's like, but if you're sitting playing games, you're not getting to see everything. Yeah. And my brain's like, I need the entire day to go through everything.
We kind of come at it from a different perspective, because we are coming here as press, as journalists that cover the event. So we hit the halls. We want to see what's going on. But people like just want to come here and play games with people that they maybe see once a year.
Yeah.
That for them is true. I mean, I know Darren Sims.
Yeah.
He runs pretty much 6 games.
We're moving ourselves forward again. We're saying people.
So, I mean, one of my friends, Darren Sims, comes here and just runs games.
Yeah.
Occasionally has a wander around the events. But for him, the main draw is the Hilton and running games there for people you may not see once a year.
Yeah.
And again, that's where the community aspect comes in.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, I'm a bit miffed with myself. I'm not going to get to see everything. But one just minor grumble. Bought 2 ice creams from the kids yesterday. Yeah.
Guess how much that came to?
Some ice creams?
2 ice creams. Waffle cones with a flake.
All right, okay. They're not going to be 99p then?
No, no, 90p.
I don't know. Are they going to, what, £3 each or something? £5 each? 10 quid each?
In total, it came to £11 for 2 ice creams. So like, oh.
All right, no, he's veered off. He veered off. He veered off. I'm just keeping this all in. I'm keeping it all in, Pete.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I was just sort of waving in front of the camera. No, don't go in front of the camera.
So the food cost of food here.
Yeah, I guess like it's one of those ones.
It's a closed market. People,
I guess the people they have to build this. They have to sort of pay the
they
stalls.
have got massive rental costs, but again, it is. Yeah, it's just a man of grumble.
Yeah, when you come to these places, it's like parking is pretty expensive, and yeah. So I'm like I went on the toll road, so that was like 15 quid, and then the parking's another 20 quid, and then food. I had like a sausage roll, which was loads, and. It's not cheap, but it's not cheap. But any convention you go to, you're going to get, expensive stuff. So it's one of those ones,
But full credit to them, do you have hydration stations? Like, water.
Yeah.
That's the one where you can just fill up your water bottle for free. So that's brilliant.
There's a camera there.
Thank you.
Why? I don't understand. We've had so many people.
So yeah, we have kind of got like water top-up station, which has been a really boom for.
We got another chap. Gonna go. There's a camera there, buddy.
So yeah, a lot of water booths, and which is great. I mean, just hit a water bottle and water, and you're fine. But yeah, it's. But yeah, overall, I've had fun. It's been a good day.
Yeah, like I feel.
And I must admit, a big touch for me. Again, can you ask me? I get to see you again.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you.
I mean, we get to hang out. I mean, we get to see you like twice a month online.
Yeah.
Not as much as I used to because I can't do the game anymore. But
did you get your barbarian question right, by the way, Pete?
Of course.
I was going to say when he was talking about you were doing your like quiz and you did barbarian. Because I was like, if you don't get this right, Pete.
Yes. I'll impress myself in that round. I got 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I knew what FACO meant. I remember playing FACO back in the day, and the fact you needed a blooming degree in advanced mathematics just to work out what FACO.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we just gone for armor class because that makes things easier.
But yeah, like I'm just like I'm only sad because I'm not going to be able to come tomorrow, and I'm not going to be able to sort out everything. I did like the last few years I haven't bought anything because I'm trying my best not to because I can't afford it. But my daughter's really into Dobble. My brother got her into it, so I've got her sort of Mandalorian Dobble and another one. It's quite a cool wee game. It's like I never thought I'm when it comes to sort of like I like miniatures and I like sort of things and stuff like that.
Like granularity.
Yeah, but it is it's a really we play it. My mum plays it, my sister and stuff. So
but that's there's a game for everyone. Like one thing I've always said, there's a game for everyone. And Dogman is one of those games that kind of does appeal to a wide demographic of people, and you want those kind of games to draw people in.
Yeah.
And then they can find their own particular type of game they enjoy. I mean, I'm not a fan of tableau games.
Yeah.
It's just not bad. I prefer role-play games. I prefer like skirmish games. You prefer like the big epic war games.
Yeah.
And we've all got a one kind of different preference for the flavours.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I'm a creature of habit. There's loads of games where I've been proven wrong. Like Dobble's one of them. Like I had zero interest in playing that game, and then I've just completely taken to it. It's the same with the Resistance. It was a game I didn't think I would ever ever play, and that's one of my favorite games of all time and stuff. There's loads of games out there. I think you just need to give a chance, and that's the one thing that sort of gets me because there's loads of games that I walk past, and inwardly I'm kind of judging because they're maybe a bit too cutesy, or they've got meeples, and I fucking hate meeples. I hate
I find meeples. It became a sort of narrative shorthand in games, but now I feel it's just become generic.
Yeah.
It lacks individuality, and what draws me to a game is its own unique character.
Yeah, the surefire way to turn me off a game, irrespective of if it's great or not. Sorry, dude, there's a camera right there. There is the one surefire way to turn. me off a game is to have meeples, and it could be the best game that's ever existed. But you got meeples, I have zero interest in this game.
I must admit, typically the games I like is horror, science fiction, and combinations thereof. So dropping a meeple into that feels
like cutesy as it up.
Cutesy, which feels like a tonal disconnect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, like, they
have their place. I mean, I'm not, if
a lot of Euro games are meeple sort of kind of, but I just there's something, I just have this massive aversion to meeple games and stuff like that.
Because you associate them with a certain type of game. You mentioned that cutesy.
Yeah.
And so you just observe, well, I associate that with this thing I do not like, therefore I do not like meeples.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's games out there, and again, that gets me back to the point I was trying to make. It's like, there's loads of games, and I'm sort of judging them, because I'm kind of going, that's a bit cutesy, that's like this, but I kind of would like, this, one day just to come down without the camera and stuff and just actually sit there and sort of like try some of these games out and stuff. But because we're like, we're walking around trying to scope out things, try to see things and stuff like that, and it took us, like, we didn't scratch the surface today, and then the next day we're doing interviews and blah blah blah. It's like, I don't think I get that chance, and so I feel like
I think we are mentally curating what we see, and go, well, I know I like this, and I know most about this, so this is what I'm looking for. Yeah. And you kind of just subconsciously just kind of ignore that one. That one's okay, keep mental note that one, and just kind of keep...
Well, at the end of the day, but another, I'm very happy for them. Like, it's definitely a success story. Bearing in mind, if you've been to over the years and you've seen it grow, it's just great to see that it's been so successful. Yeah. And like, I think there's this. I think you have this sort of worry that when something gets too big, it becomes too commercial and stuff. It's like when music you like or something like that. If it becomes too big, then you're like, it ceases to be yours. It becomes something else, and you just don't want it being taken away from you.
Loses that character.
Yeah, but like the character's definitely still here. Like this is 100% is it. You've still got that sort of like interactive thing, and the fact that there's more lanes and stuff like that. It feels like you can
also
breathe.
Workshops here this year.
Yeah, exactly.
We're always kind of sharing community knowledge, and I mean, like, we had Darkroom, John Robertson back, and he sold out. Yesterday sold out, today sold out. I've been doing about 20 tickets left for Sunday.
Is he in the Hilton? Whereabouts is he sort of situated?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You don't know. Okay. Oh. Sorry, John.
Love you, John. Yesterday.
But I'm just a bit sad that I haven't had a chance to check some of them out. There was some really cool stuff where I was scanning it and I'd take a few photographs and I'd walk on and my brain was like, I'll go back to that, but I'm not going to be able to because we run out of time.
Time runs out.
Time runs out, and like I think that's why you have there's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they do a preview on the Thursday. Yeah. So I think next time, knowing that it is going to be bigger, I might sort of see if I can sort of get some brownie points from the missus and come down.
I was going to see if I could come down on the Thursday. And then, no, my youngest has got swimming lessons. So no, I had to be on daddy duty.
Well, I might be going swimming tomorrow with my fam. My missus doesn't want to go, but my daughter's decided she wants to go.
Daddy and daughter time.
Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, Pete, it's a short and sweet one today, but I've got a 2-hour drive back to sunny Manchester. So
and it's sunny there today as well.
Yeah, but
we spent it inside.
We had a month of like pure sun, which is amusing because my wife moans about the British weather. My wife's Thai, and like in Thailand the weather's just it's sun most of the time when it's not rainy season, but it's generally warm all the time. Like, she's had really good weather for the last month, but she doesn't want to go out in it. They have this weird thing that they do, which I find amusing. It's like they don't like it when it's cold and wet, but they don't like it when it's warm, and they think it's mad that British people sit out in the sun and drink and stuff like that. And I'm like, because we went to this like cider farm, and then we were sitting there sort of and everybody's outside drinking, and she's like, what are you doing? We're like, we're enjoying the sun. And then it's like, she's like, yep, why? And it's like, with them it's all about air conditioning, being somewhere which is air conditioned and stuff. And I'm like, well,
for them sun is just like normal. It's not every day.
Yeah, whereas us, it's just like whenever like the sun's out, tops off, out you go. You know the sun's out when you've got all the local riffraff with their tops off running around and stuff. But yeah, but so I've got to get back. But yeah, it's been another successful Games Expo. Hopefully next year I'll maybe try and get a bit more time, and we'll get some more people talk to, and maybe feel less sort of like a failure than I did.
Yeah. There's a lot to take in, a lot to do, and one day to do it in. And I think, to be honest, what we've achieved in one day is in itself an accomplishment.
Yes, Pete. It is an accomplishment. I can't. Yeah, and I want to figure out a more, because we have a semi-system where we kind of go up one and then go down.
We just go up and down the
We zigzag, but sometimes you get distracted, and I get so disorientated because it's so big. I get disorientated, and then it's just like, I don't know, and then you find yourself already somewhere where you've already been, and I'm like, oh no, I've wasted time, I need to be down there and stuff. But anyway, something to worry about for next year, I guess.
Plan for next year.
Next year. So, anyway, Pete, that's it for today. For Games Expo, for me, Matt Geary, at UK Games Expo 2025. With me has been Peter A. Ellison.
Goodbye, everyone. And
wishing you a great day, a great evening whenever you're listening and or watching this. See you later.
Bye.